otra vez a un ratito de mecánica. Welcome again in a little bit of mechanic. Today I'm doing a 2016 Jeep Wrangler Sport, the oil filter housing. Earlier today I started doing the job. I was doing the video and everything, but I was under the sun and the sun overheated my phone and my phone turned off, and so all the video that I did got deleted. So I'm just doing a walkthrough of what I did and explaining roughly what I did and what I had to take out. Okay, so the first thing you do on this is take this, the airbags. So there's gonna be a clamp on this side here and here, and 2 bolts in the front. These 2 bolts are 10 millimeters, and these clamp screws are 8 millimeters. Okay, after you do that, you unhook it from both sides and it's out. Put it on the side somewhere. Okay. Then the throttle body. You don't have to take the throttle body out because you'll be taking the air intake out, but you don't need to take it out. If you want to take it out, you could do it. You could do it if you want to, but you don't have to. Before you lift the air intake tube out, underneath the air intake tube there's a little plug right underneath her. So you have to lift it up and slowly until you see the wire come out. See, remember which one it is. This one. All you have to do is clamp on and pull it out. Right? And for the throttle body, the plug for the throttle body has a little clip. It goes right here. Right here. That's a little security clip. I'll show you that right now. Right here, see? The red tab. It's gonna be inwards. All you have to do is push it out. When you feel it that's pushed out, all you do is push in and pull, and it should be out. After you did that, the hoses, there's gonna be a couple hoses that you have to take out before anything. This is one that goes connected right here. 2 right there, and on the other side, the 3rd one goes right there. And I think that should be it. Yeah, that's it for the hoses. Okay. And there's a 4th one that's connected to the box here. You're gonna want to take that out, so when you take the air intake out, you have more room, because you want to move it out of the way in order for this to come out, pop out. Okay, the next step that I did was take out some screws. Before you take this out, you need to loosen up a bracket that's attached to this and attached to the air intake and to the motor. So let me turn on the light here. There we go. This right here, that's the bracket you need to remove. So right here, the bracket is gonna be attached right here with 2 10 millimeter bolts. Two 10 millimeter bolts right there, and over here it's gonna be on two nuts right here. You need to take those out, And in the back as well, you need to take this one out, these out. For this side, there's also another bracket. You see here, you don't need to take that bracket out. Okay. So you can just leave it there. Alright, the next step, on the passenger side, there's going to be another bracket. I'll show you that right now. This right here. This bracket, esta braqueta que está aquí. You need to take out about 1, 2, 4 bolts, 2 screws. Yeah, 4 bolts and 2 screws. The 2 screws, they go right here. They'll be right there when they're hooked on. And the air intake is right here. One there and on the other side. It's gonna be underneath the bracket. The 4 bolts that I'm talking about, they're underneath that. They're like more here. See? Right there. This is be on top of that. One here on the other side. And the other 2 nuts, they're behind where the battery is. Where the battery box is, they're behind there. So you go here next to the battery box, pull back. Let's see if I can please show you, like right here with my index fingers, and on the other side there's gonna be 2 bolts, no, 2 nuts. I think they are 10 millimeters. On this side they're gonna be 10 millimeters, all 4 of them. So you're just gonna need a wobble in order to get to those 2 back there. Or unless you can take the battery box out, it'll be much easier, but I did it without taking it out, so it shouldn't be no problem. Alright, now for the air intake. Before you start unscrewing the bolts for the air intake, on the back of the air intake, this, okay, so in the back of the air intake you're gonna see a foam, this right here. It's gonna have 2 clips here and there. So all you have to do, it's gonna be like this when you see it. The clips are gonna be like that. So just go underneath the foam, pop, pop, y lo saca, you take it out. So now you're gonna be ready. So now the air intake is gonna have 7 bolts. They're all 8 millimeter bolts. 1 here. There's gonna be 3 on top. Here, 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 and they have lock, so you won't be able to take them all the way out. And then there's gonna be 4 right underneath the top ones, and then the bottom ones. It's gonna be 2 in the middle, right here and there, 2 in the middle, and then 2 on each corner, 1 in the front and 1 in the back, right there. So the ones on the corner, they're screws, so you can just take them out, but you don't have to take them all the way out. You can just leave them on there. Okay, after you do that, you're gonna have, then you go back to the bracket over here. I'm gonna show you before. You're gonna wanna loosen this up first. It's holding down by two clips on the bottom. At the bottom, let's see if I can show you. There it is. Those 2 clips, it's held down on the bracket. So loosen that up first before anything, because you're gonna need it. And you're gonna try your best to move this out of the way. So what I did, I want to move the bracket out of the way. So what I did first, before anything, I took this out of here, out of this, because this goes in there. So you're gonna try and move that. You could take the hoses off, so it'll be easier to maneuver, but I was stubborn and didn't do it. So do that, because in order to this come out, the bracket is sitting on top of it, on top of this right here. So you won't be able to maneuver out really well until you move this out of the way, move the bracket out of the way, just enough to get it out. So when you do that, you'll be able to take it out. It's gonna be a lot of wiggle in order to take it out. I think I'm gonna be able to do it. There you go. Just be careful when you take it out, because you don't want to ruin something. Ok, regresé. So cuando saqué el air intake, esto es lo que tú vas a ver. This is what you're gonna see when you take out the air intake out. So there's gonna be this foam. This one just comes out like that. Remember which position it was, with the flat part facing down. Just put it somewhere where it won't get wet or anything. When you do that, the next step to do is the bottom air intake. This one. That one is held down by 1, 2, 3, 4, about, I would say, if I remember correctly, 8 bolts. 8 bolts that look like this. 8 millimeter bolts. They look like that. They also have a locking wash underneath, so they don't come all the way out. Okay. I've seen a lot of people say or take the bottom air intake by taking out the injectors off. You don't need to take them out. I did it. It cost me a little bit, but I did it. I took it out without taking the injectors off. All you have to do is go on the passenger side of the motor, find the injectors, and disconnect the injectors. The injector is gonna have a red tab. There's 3 of them on one side and 3 on the other side. They're gonna look like this. All you have to do is push the red tab up, squeeze in the middle, and push out. Sounds easy, but it's not as easy. It took me a little while to take it off. Okay, and again, the bracket, it's on top of the fuel line right here. The fuel rail, sorry, the fuel rail. So you have to move the bracket out of the way in order to move the bottom air intake. Let me see if I can do it again, because I put it back just to show you. Let me see if it's possible. Move one hand again. There you go. See? All you have to do, move it out of the way. Oh, the bolts. Totally forgot I mentioned the bolts. There's 2 on the front, on the side, and in the corner. See if I can show you. Underneath the hoses. There it is. It's in the corner, hiding. Here's the other one. So basically, the bracket, there's one on each other side. That's the front one and the back, and one in the corner. Right there. Right there. And the driver's side, a little bit more easier to see. It's gonna be one there, and in the front, and this one in the back too, in the corner, hiding right there behind the fuel rail. Same thing with the passenger side. So all you have to do, let me see if I can take this off. See, Move it out of the way as much as you can. There you go, see? Oh. See, there you go. And that's how it comes off. Just put it somewhere where it won't bother you. Just have to be really careful. There you go. And it will be easier with this off, but for some reason I can't take this connector off. But it'll be much easier if you can take it off, because that way you can move this bottom part more out. And now you can see your oil filter housing. The oil filter housing and the cooler, the oil cooler. That's this big silver part. To take this off, there's going to be a connector in the part and a hose in the back right here. So all you have to do is push the red tab up and put it out, and then that's it. Oh yeah, there's this order, a special order that you need to take the screws off. The screws off. So it's gonna be this bolt first, and then this bolt first, right there, and then in the corner, in the back of the number 2, if I can see it. There you go, that one. Oh, there's focus. That one. That's gonna be number 2. And number 3, I'm gonna go back to the front. I'll be right there. And then 4, and then 5. No, like that. There you go. 4 screws, 4 bolts, and they're inverted. So, and they're inverted screws. I don't remember what size they are at the moment, but there are inverted screws. By inverted, I mean, you see how this is? But just look at it like it is with splines. You see the splines on the inside of the bolt? Now imagine that on the outside of the bolt. Tomorrow when I take it out, I'll take another video and show you what I'm talking about. Because right now, this is the reason why we gotta change the oil filter housing on this Jeep. Let me see if you can see it. Okay, you see that shiny? That's the light from my camera. There you go. You see all that oil right there? The shiny from the light from my camera? That's all oil. And a lot of times when you're doing a diagnostic on the Jeep, they look at the bottom first and they see your oil leakage, and they might think, oh, it has a rear main seal leak. The rear main seal is leaking. But a lot of times it's not, because this has a defect on it from factory. So a lot of times they're gonna fail. And when they see the oil leaking from the bottom, they think it's gonna be the oil pan or the rear main seal or anything else on it. But just before you do anything like that, look at the oil filter housing. Look down, put a stick through somewhere something that can show if there's oil around it. Just stick it through the corner where you can see the top of the engine block. Those little shiny place showing it from. And if it comes out with oil, then yeah, wish I had something that can show you correctly, but I don't. But sorry I had to show you like this how to take it out, but I'll try my best to show you and explain to you what I did to take this off. And I don't know. Well, this is Master John speaking to you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow to take out the oil filter housing. Adiós. Bueno, mi gente, otra vez regresamos a un ratito de mecánica, todavía con el 2016 Jeep Wrangler Sport. I already took out the oil filter housing. Yeah, the oil filter housing, because it gave me a bit of trouble, so I took it out first and then I'm gonna show you. Here it is, right here. This was the problem. So there are, I told you, like I said yesterday, there are a few bolts you have to loosen up. They're locked, so the bolts won't come out. So there's a special way to take this out. So when it's on, it's gonna be facing this way, the big part towards you. So this is how you're gonna take it out. There's this special way. So this bolt right here is 1, then 2 in the corner back, 3, 4, and 5. I know yesterday I said 4, but since it was kind of laid out and it was getting dark, so I didn't see the 5th one. And that's how you take it out. And back here, there's gonna be the oil pressure sensor right here. You need to take them out, because the one I ordered didn't came with them, because I ordered the metal one. This is the original ones, plastic. The one I ordered is all metal. I'll show you that when I start putting it back together. And right now I'm gonna show you the reason why it had to get replaced. Look at this. I got all that rag there. Look at all that oil. Look at that. That's all oil in the middle there. Let's see better. There it is. You see there's a little bit of antifreeze. That's because of the oil coolers. So a little bit of antifreeze spilled over. But that's the reason you have to replace it. I'm gonna get all that clean off and I'm gonna put the new one back in. I'll be right back. Well, I finished. Terminé ya de. I did the best I can with taking all that oil and antifreeze out. As you can see, still some in there, but not as much as I used to. Yeah. If you have like a shop vac or something, because all I did to clean it up was use a little bit of those rags and a tube. See, like this. That's all I used. Since this one doesn't work very well, what I did was put one end in my mouth and the other end in the part, in the area that you want to suck it up, and get something like that. And just suck out the oil, not too much, so it won't get in your mouth. And put it in here. See, look at how much there was in there. That's a mixture of antifreeze and oil. and a lot of it went on the floor. Look at that. See? So if you're ever gonna do this type of job on your Jeep and you find that oil leakage, and a lot of mechanic or diagnostic might be saying that it could be the oil pan or the rear main seal, because when they get underneath, they see all that wetness. Oil pan, see how wet the transmission is, and the transmission pan, that's this right here, it's all wet all the way to the back. So I said, oh, it's the rear main seal. And you see these two plugs right here? That's to see inside the converter. But when you take it off, you see how clean the top of the plug is? Oh, it fell. I'll show you the other one. Here, you see how dry the plug is on top? There's nothing. Even if you put your finger on there, there's nothing. Because you see the tip of my finger? It's all dry. Just the only place that's wet with oil is around here and in the edge where the plug goes. But other than that, there's nothing in there. So always check the oil filter housing, because you see when you take a look all the way up there, hold on, there you go. You see all that water's coming from up there, all that oil coming from on top of the transmission. So whenever you're driving, the oil from the housing on top, from the filter housing, goes back and it starts coming down from the top of the transmission. So don't get confused of that. Just make sure you do a thorough diagnostic. If you're doing it for yourself, just take a look, make sure it's, that's all you have to do. And now, since I'm done cleaning up there like I showed you before, and I'll show you the new one I'm replacing it with. So right now, this is the old one. This is the old filter housing, and the new one is right here. See? The metal cast one oil filter housing. Okay. This one's metal. Where's that? There it is. See? Look. Compared to the plastic one. But with this one, you have to replace some stuff on it. See? You have to switch some things. This one comes with the oil cooler as well. And okay. This is the new one. This is the old one. You need to put, when you get the new one, if you buy the OEM one, it's gonna come fully complete already. You don't have to change anything or need to transfer things from the other one. With the new one, like I bought, I bought the full metal one. Right here. Now the plastic one. So you have to, it doesn't come with these. With the oil pressure, the oil heat sensor. I might be saying it wrong, so yeah. So you have to transfer these out. These are tight on there because I think they have red Loctite. So the best way to take these off would be when this is still in there, because you need a lot of force to take them off. Either one of these, if you don't have one of these, just find something that's big enough to go around here and just pop, crack them open, break the seal. When you break the seal, they're easy to come off. Okay. The harder one will be this one because it's a lot bigger, as you can see. I think this is like what, 30, something like that. I'm not sure, size 30 if you don't have an adjustable wrench. But other than that, it's easy stuff. On the new one of mine, I have to install this. It came with it already. I have to install this. So it comes with the gasket. I bought the full kit with gasket and the oil, with the oil cooler and everything. It comes with the gasket. Yeah, I shouldn't have put it there, but yeah, on the new one, you're gonna when you put the oil cooler on, if you didn't bought the OEM one, the plastic one, sorry, but if you bought the full kit one, the metal one, it's gonna come with the gaskets. So on the oil cooler, when you put it on, it's gonna come 2 gaskets. They look like this. So you're gonna have one here and the other one over here. Alright, and here it is. There's no gasking or anything like that. You don't have to put none of that on. What you have to do is line up the holes with it. You see this right here? One right here, and the other one in the back. Just line up those holes and it should be perfect. Just like that. It already comes with its own screws. It's a spline one. I'll let you know what size it is later on. These have an order basically to put them on. I'm just hand tightening at the moment. Put them on. I hope it doesn't rain because I'm outside, so usually it's a bit difficult because of the rain and all that. It's not supposed to be raining today, so I hope it doesn't rain. So I put everything on. That's like so I can make it quicker, and I'm trying to beat the rain. So on the kit that you get, it's gonna come these gasket. For these, it's gonna be like that. Just make sure you match up the gasket, the size with the holes on the bottom. There's 1 big one and 3 medium sized, and there's an O-ring that goes on here. Just make sure you do that. And then over here on the back side, the pressure switch or the pressure switch. The big one goes on the bottom, and the smaller switch goes on the top. They go with red Loctite. You screw them in, not all the way in, until you feel them nice and tight. For both of them, they don't go all the way in. You screw them until you feel them tight. And those screws here, there's you tighten down because underneath there goes a gasket in here, like I showed you before. So I put red Loctite on them, as you can see. You don't need to, but I did it just to make sure they don't come out or something doesn't leak through there. So the way you put them on is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Torque specification for these I wasn't able to find anything on them, so just tighten down snugly, not too tight, and that's about it. So after that, all you have to do is put the holes back on here with a clamp and the screws back on, which is right here, like this. These are reverse torque brake. Focus. There you go. See, the splines on the outside. The size, if you don't have the special tool to take them out, I took them out with a regular The regular one, it's a quarter. It fits under perfectly. That's how I was able to take out the old one. See, look, perfectly. Okay, so it's one and a quarter, 1/4 of the, to be able to take out. That's if you don't have the special socket for that. If you don't have it, you could use that one. So now I cleaned everything inside there like I showed you before, and now I'm gonna put the new oil filter housing back and everything. So I'm trying to make this as quick as possible again. I'm trying to beat the rain, and I'm gonna install it and I'll be right back. Okay, I finished installing the oil filter housing and I know I can't see very well because the sun is beaming on me right now. I'm getting hot. So I'll do my very best to show you the order of operation to install. The first one is gonna be right here in the corner, in the very front corner. The second one is gonna be in the back corner. You can see, well, just my fingers right there. The third one is gonna be in the front again. The one right there. The third one, it's gonna be right back here. See right there, in front of my finger. And the fourth one, it's gonna be right there, like that, in order. The same way you take it out is the same way you put it back in order. And the torque specification for those is 106 inch per pound. Okay, so now next step to install is the lower intake. I'm gonna pause it real quick and I'll bring you back in when I install it. Okay, so right now I'm gonna put the gasket on the lower part of the air intake. The ones that look like this, with a little notch on top, those are the bottoms. Those are the lower ones. They go underneath of the lower intake. You see that right there, like that? That's where it goes. And these, the rectangle ones, they go on the top side of the lower intake. Show you. And you can't see it because it's so bright out. But like right there, like that. That's what I'm gonna do right now. So I'm gonna do the lower ones first. So just go underneath. If you don't have a little pick, it'll be easier. But let me see if I have a flat head. Get a flat head. If you get a little pick, it'll be much easier. Unlike me, I don't have much tools. You got a small little flat head. Since I don't have one. But you get what I'm trying to do. Everything I do is a struggle. Just like that. And you do that for all 6. 6 on the bottom and 6 on top of the lower intake. See how crusty this looks? How dirty. Because the oil was seeping into it. It's never a good thing. So I'm gonna pause you and I'll be right back. So finally finished putting the bottom intake. It was a bit of a struggle to put it back in because this bracket right here gets in the way. You have to keep wiggling out of the way until you put it, until it fits on down. But I did it. Ooh, I'm hot. Sun beaming down on me, but I did it. I got my sweater here because this was getting hot in there, so I had to put it so it won't get burned. Also here in the front. Alright, the order for the screws on this, I'll show you right now. Okay. It's gonna be 8 screws. That screw right there, that's 1. Then second one is in the back right here. Do you see it? It's gonna be in the, I can't really see it. Where is it? Right there, that's number 2. And number 3 is gonna be in the front. That's 3. 4, passenger side. It's gonna be sounded coming down again. Underneath this wire right here. I don't know if you can see it properly. That's number 4. 5. It's gonna be over here, driver's side. That's 5. Can't really see it. It's 5. 6. It's gonna be on top over here. The one next to the bracket. 6 is over here. God, I'm falling. There's number 6. It's next to the bracket. Number 7. It's gonna be on the driver's side again. Right there. That's number 7 is where the fuel rail is. Underneath of number 2. Oh yeah, number 2. And number 8 is again on the passenger side. Over here, it's next to the bracket. It's on top of number 1. Number 1, then number 2. I mean number 1, bolt number 1, and then bolt number 8 is on top. So it's basically follow the corner to corner, like a star. Do a star formation, like that. And now, third step, the third step is gonna be putting out the top air intake. After you did after you finish putting the clips on for the injectors, because I took out the injector clips because I didn't took the whole fuel rail. I didn't do that. So there's gonna be 3. One right here with the red tab underneath the bracket. Another one, and then there's the third one. 3 of them. So now I'm gonna put the top air intake. Don't forget as well, because I also took out the connectors for the spark plugs, ignition coils. There's 3 of them on the passenger side, driver's side. I took those out. So we have more wiggle room for the bottom air intake. So when I'm done with that, putting the top air intake, I will let you know what I did, because I can't really leave my phone running. The sun is beaming and I don't want my phone turning off and losing everything again like last night. Be right back. Oh, forgot to mention the bolts for the bottom intake. The torque spec is 106 inch pound. 106 inch pounds. No foot pounds, 106 inch. The same thing for the oil filter housing. Oil filter housing and the bottom air intake, they're the same spec, torque spec. Alright, just letting you know, kind of forgot to tell you that. I'll be right back again. Okay guys, still not done yet, but for the foam, I know yesterday I said it was with the flat part down, but I was wrong. I just figured out because I kind of forgot how to put it back in. So this is how it goes. This big part right here goes over here outwards. The big part goes outwards. Okay, just like that. It should just slide in, no struggle or nothing. It should just slide in. The bracket, let me show you. The foam. You see what that bracket is? See this bracket? The foam, well, for my foam, has this mark right here. So all you have to do is line this mark with the foam, with the bracket, and the foam should be right in there. That's something I wanted to tell you. And just like that. And there's a second foam after you put the top air, the top intake. It goes on the back right here. I'll show you that as well, putting it back in. So I'm almost done, guys. I'm almost there. Alright, I just have to struggle putting this back in. Repositioning the bracket again into the hole so I can screw it in. And torquing the bolts down on this. And that should be it. Alright. A few more minutes and I should be done. Be right back. What's up, guys? Back. Finally finished it. Putting out the top air intake. It was a struggle to put it in. So here is what I did. Give me a moment. Take all these things out of my way so I can climb. Alright. So the screws for the top air intake, like I said before, there's 3 on the top and 4 on the bottom. Okay, so it's gonna be in the star formation. So this is 1. Actually, no, sorry. 1 is gonna be the one in the back. It's hiding somewhere back there. There it is. That's 1. 2 is gonna be the one on the front top. 3 is gonna be this one, the one in the middle. The one right there. 4 is gonna be the one on top. 4. 5 is gonna be the first one in the front. Sorry, I'm gasping right because I'm tired. The sun is exhausting me. This is number 5. 6 right here, and 7, the one in the back. And the torque spec for these are 89 inch pounds. Okay, after you're done with that one, the bracket. The reason it took me a while to put the top air intake in was because of the bracket. I did it, I don't know how, but I put it in. All you have to do when you have this loose, wiggle it in. Play with the bracket, this bracket right here. This bracket, play with it until you are able to put the intake in. Because the bracket, you see those 2 bolts right there? It goes on top of the intake. And the intake goes underneath the bracket. So you have to play until it goes in. And because you have to, and back here there are 2 screws. You can be able to see it fine because the battery box. But 2 screws are right here where my finger is. Hopefully you can see it. You see that little notch right there? Follow that notch. The nut is right underneath there. The second one's right next to it as well. There's another notch right with my finger, in front of my finger. Follow that notch down. It should be right there. I had to take the bracket out of the studs that are there in order for me to be able to play with it. And to take it out and to put it back in, you have to take the bracket out of the studs. If not, you can't do anything with anything until you take it out. The same thing with these lines right here, the antifreeze line. You have to take these 2 screws, nuts right there. You take them out and take it out of the stud in order to have more wiggle for the bracket. Because if you don't take them out, same thing, you won't be able to do anything. So you take the bracket off its stud and the antifreeze line out of the studs. The same thing to put it back in. Just play with it until you are able to put it in. Because that's what I did. It was a struggle taking it out and put it back in, but it's possible. And there's no torque specification for this, so just tighten it in snugly, not too tight though, snugly, because they are screwed down to the valve cover and you don't want to mess that up. The same thing with those 2 nuts right there. Those 2 nuts, that one and the other one, those are screwed into the intake. So just snugly, not too tight. And if you did it the way I did it without taking this connector off, because all I did was there are 2 clips under there, and just took that out, and I was able to have enough wiggle room for the bracket and to maneuver the underneath the bottom intake. All you have to do is just line it up and click it in, and it should be fine. But if you want to take it out, all you have to do, unhook this, push up, this up as well. Don't know exactly how far up it goes, and somehow take this out, because I wasn't able to do it. So if you can do it, bravo. There you go. To clip it in, just push. Since you push it like this, when you push this up, the circle right here moves. See, doesn't move too much, but it moves. So just push it down, put that in so it can line up with the hole, and then you're good to go. And that's it. The last thing, I forgot there's a couple more screws left, but the last things to do up here will be the hoses. Obvious, your intake hose goes underneath here like this. Line it up with the air filter box. Hope I'm doing it right. It's tight. I'm on top of the car. Oh shoot, it's hard. There you go. And then your other intake hose. Now one. There's another one. Let me fix myself. Rain clouds are kind of starting to come in. It's hold out so far. That's good for me. I'm almost done. So this one goes in here. There you go, just like that. Here, I'm gonna do it again. I don't know, you got it. Just like that. Then on the driver's side, it's another vacuum hose or intake hose. It goes to power booster. This one, I hope I said that right. Goes right here. Okay, the sun came back out again. My phone doesn't heat up. Right there, nice and snug. Okay. Alright. The second to last part that I need to do is the bracket that goes in here. That are the two nuts that goes in here. And in the front of the engine bay. There you go. This one and those are screws. The bracket goes in there as well. It's tightened up with two screws in there. The bracket's here. Here it is. Oh, you guys can't see very well. Here it is. See that? There it is. It goes just like that. Just like that. And on the other side over here, I'm gonna put this one in first. Come on. I'm trying to block the sun with my body. There it is. This is the struggle I have to go through. It's just a small one. It's not that big of a deal. But the most difficult, everything else is easy. Everything else is easy. It's just the bracket is the hardest one. That's the hardest part is the bracket. From the passenger side. This bracket easy to do. And then you just put your other two nuts on the back right here. You're good to go. Well, and the last but not least will be the throttle body thing. I even forgot the name already. The throttle body hose. I'm saying hose. I'm sorry. The throttle body hose from the throttle body to the filter box, and that should be it. Then turn it on, and hopefully nothing blows up. We'll be right back. My phone's starting to heat up again. So what's up, guys? I finally finished. The only thing I have left to do is just change the oil and the oil filter. Whew. I recommend not using the oil filter that comes in the kit, because it's like, I won't say good, but it's not bad either. But if you do use it, don't leave it on for too long, because it's not a very good oil filter. The one I'm using is, I'll show you right now. It's this one. The K&N one. I use that on my Infinity. K&N one looks like this. This is the oil filter. It goes right in the oil filter housing with the little stick down like this. Hope you can see it because the sun is beaming down. Going down until you hear a click. Whoa. There you go. It's on there now. Yeah, it's on there. You just push it in until you can't pull it up, because it has a little gasket. So yeah, and to take it out, same way, just a little force, it comes out. Here you go, look. And I hope you guys can see it. My phone is not focusing. We're gonna go to the shadow. Now you guys can see it better. There it is. The little gasket. The gasket goes inside the, like this, the housing, the oil filter housing, down. And for the cap, you're gonna put the cap on where this hole is. You're gonna push it until you hear a click. Okay? So I'm gonna show you where the oil pan is. So it's for some of you who don't know where it is. I'll show you right now. It's a small little guy. It's not big. Get underneath. If you have a bucket like that, get it. And it's right there. See? Right there. Transmissions right there. In the back. And the oil pan. The oil drain plug is a 16. It's a 16 millimeter bolt. When you first take it out, it's gonna be hard, so make sure you get some leverage and just pull it to take it off. Just let it drain there for a while. Mine is done already, but that's it. I'm practically gone. I just have to put on the battery back on because I had to take it off because, you know, working on there, I don't want no sparks or anything. I always recommend taking the battery off first before working on any car. If you have to, you don't have to. Okay. And always fix your hoses, see? Always double check your work. If it wasn't on correctly. Always double check your work. Oh, I almost forgot something very important. Show you right now. Where is it? Where did I put it? So I almost forgot to put this foam. Show you where to put that goes. So this foam goes in the back where the blue rag is. Goes right there. Let me take this out of the way. It's gonna hurt. Step on it. You too. There you go. So the way you put this on, it's gonna be hot and on top of this. Whew. Okay, go right there. It goes inside like that. The way I'm putting it in is the same way you take it off. There's nothing too special about it. The clips, they're on top right here. Just push down. And the other side as well, line it up with the hole. And that's it. Nothing too big of a deal. And that's how you put it back on. The same way you take it off. The clip right here underneath, pop it up on both sides. Oof. And that's it. I just need to put on the battery, the oil filter. That's right here on me. See? Orange cap. This came in with a new housing. I think it's a much better. The black one, you can barely tell where it was if you're new to Jeep. So the hole right there, just push it in until you hear it click. Let me see if you can hear it. Heard that? And you push it until you hear it click. And before you put it in, make sure you rub. You don't have to do it, but I recommend doing it. Just wet the gasket here with a little bit of oil. The same thing, there's a little bit of oil, so it won't go in dry and mess it up or anything like that. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So I'm gonna put, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, now I'm officially done. So I put everything, like I told you before, I put the battery back on, changed the oil 5W20. You fill the oil right through here, right here. It says Mecánica 5W20. Now it's done. Now the last thing you need to be done, turn on the car. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. Here you go, so I can find my keys. Find the key. Here it goes. Find the key. I got 5% charge. I got 1, 2. Pouring like a baby. Well, not pouring, but purring. There you go. Hello my friend, little update. I drove the car for about 30 minutes, I would say, and look, no more leakage, no more oil leak from the car. Still oily from on the oil pan, transmission oil pan, and a little bit on the actual oil pan, but that was from before. I'm gonna get some brake cleaner and clean that up so I can be nice and shiny again. And I looked under here a little while ago. Still clean, still clear. So now you know. Here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Now there's only one thing left to do. Show you what it is. Hopefully I can find it. One thing left to do is to put the engine cover back on. Yes. So the way you take this off and put it back in, see these little prongs right here, one there, one in the back. All you have to do is line them up with those holes, one in the front, one in the back. That's all you have to do. It can be a little tricky at first. So, oh yeah, those two, one there, the other right there, hook them up to those little clips on the back. I think that'll be the easiest way to put it back on. I start off with the right first, or the left if you fit. The right of you.